Hello everyone, welcome to the channel once again. So from today onwards we will be starting with the biochemistry spotters. So I have segregated the entire spotters, mainly it is about 70 to 80 spotters into 10 lectures. So from today we'll start with the biochemistry spotters. So the important thing that you need to follow is that I'll be moving one by one. That is, once we'll discuss the questions and then further we'll discuss the answers of it. I request each and everyone to stop at the question, think about the answers, and then look at the solution of it. So let's get started with the spotters. So the first spot is saying that what are the chief nutrients of the milk and the reasons for the milk intolerance. Right, so answer to it is that the important components that are present in the milk are lactose, which is mainly a milk sugar, casein, and lactalbumin and lactoglobulin. Now the second answer is that what is the main reason for milk intolerance. Like, see, the most important reason for the lactose intolerance is that small intestine is not able to produce the enough lactase enzyme. Now what is the importance of the lactase enzyme is that it helps in the conversion of lactose into glucose and galactose. So this was our first spotter. Moving on to the second spotter, it shows the structures and we have to identify it, and we have to give the rate limiting enzyme in the synthesis of this compound, right? So the given structure is adenine and guanine, and the rate limiting enzyme is ATPase, that is amidophosphorybosyl transferase. Moving on to the third spotter. The third spotter shows the structures of the disoriented shape and size of the RBC cells. We have to identify the clinical condition of it. Second question is what is the genetic defect that is mainly associated with this disease, and the last one is what are the investigations to confirm the diagnosis. So from the structure, from the figure you can easily see that the RBCs are in the form of sickle, so the condition is the sickle cell anemia. The first answer is the sickle cell anemia. And what is the genetic defect? See, the genetic defect is at the 6th position of the beta chain. Glutamic acid is replaced by valine. And what are the two investigations by which we can confirm the sickle cell anemia? These two investigations are gel electrophoresis and peripheral blood smear. Mainly in the peripheral blood smear, you see the figure, you see the situation like this, which is shown in this figure. Moving on to the fourth spotter. See, the fourth spotter shows the clinical condition of the patient in which there is a bulging eyes, what is the precursor of hormone synthesis, and what is the most potent form of the hormone. See, the clinical condition as shown in the figure is the exophthalmic goiter. The second question is which of the following is the precursor of the hormone synthesis. See, goiter is exophthalmic goiter is associated with the thyroxine. So the tyrosine is the precursor of the thyroid hormone. Among the thyroid hormone, which is more potent? T3 is more potent as compared to T4. Now what it is when it says that T3 is more potent? So it actually means that T3 shows more effect as compared to T4 when both are present in the same quantity. Alright, moving on to the fifth spotter. Identify the nail manifestation of the above patient, and the condition in picture is due to, means what is the reason which led the patient come to you with this condition. Now the answer to this is the figure shows the koilonychia. This condition is called as koilonychia and is also called as the spoon nails. Now what is the main important reason? So the main important reason is that it can be a sign of hypochromic anemia, especially the iron deficiency anemia. It usually refers to abnormally thin nails which have lost their convexity, becoming flat or even concave in shape, in sense that koilonychia is the opposite of nail clubbing. This is an important thing. In early stages, nails may be brittle and chip or break easily. Moving on to the next spotter. The instrument, we have to identify what is its use and what is the significance of the marking. Alright, the given instrument above is the Riley's tube and is also called as the nasogastric tube. What is its use? See, it is about different sizes, short or medium sizes, which mainly is for the nutritional support and for the aspiration of the stomach contents. For example, decompression of the intestinal obstruction. See, nutritional support in the patients which are under ICU, in which we cannot give oral supplements to them. Alright, now what is the reason for the marking? See, the reason for the marking is that the marking give exact location of the exact structure which we have to reach during our ICU measures. Alright, so the marking is see, you have to not write these markings, but this is just for the knowledge of you. See, first marking is a single line that is 40 centimeter from the tip and it lies at the gastroesophageal junction. Second marking shows two lines 50 centimeter from the tip and it lies at the body of the stomach. Third marking, three lines 60 centimeter from the tip of the tube and lies at the pylorus of the stomach. Fourth marking, 70 centimeter from the tip and lies at the duodenum of the stomach. Moving on to the next spotter, in the above figure, we will have to identify first what it shows and then what are the ingredient that is present in this reagent and what is the use of this reagent. See, the figure itself says that it is a Mollis reagent and we have to identify the ingredients and use of this reagent. So ingredients that is present in the Mollis reagent is alpha-naphthol and ethanol, and its use is to detect the presence of carbohydrates. In this, you need not to learn the structural formula of the compounds. The next spotter is what is the limiting amino acid in rice and what is the harm in consuming polished rice. It's one of the easiest spot. See, limiting amino acid in the rice is lysine, and the polished rice, what is mean by polished rice? Polished rice refers to the rice which has been milled to remove husk, bran, germ and various amount of nutrients contained in them. Now the question comes, what is the harm? See, it says that there is the nutrients which has been removed. So as nutrients which has been removed, it essential nutrients like vitamin B1 is removed, and this usually causes beriberi. Also, it sometimes causes diabetes. Moving on to the second last spotter, what is the condition and the cause in the below shown figure. So this is the bow legs which you can easily see in the figure. So answer to this, the condition is called as rickets. It is also called as bow legs. The reason for is that it is due to the lack of vitamin D, which is resulting in the reduced absorption of the calcium and phosphorus that causes softening and weakening of bones in the children. Moving to the last spotter, what are the ingredients present in the reagent and what is the use of this reagent? See, as you can see from the spotter, it is a Faucett reagent. So the ingredient that is present in the Faucett reagent is trichloroacetic acid, ferric chloride and barium chloride. In this, you need not to know the exact concentration in which all these reagents are mixed to prepare a Faucett reagent. Now, what is the use of the Faucett reagent? It is used to detect presence of bilirubin in the given urine sample, right? So whenever we put the Faucett reagent, it will give us the green color that shows the positive test which confirms the presence of bilirubin. So guys, this is my first video in which we have described the 10 spotters. So similarly, I am planning to make around 9 to 10 videos more in same topics, in which we will be covering entire biochemistry spotters. So this will be really very useful to all of you. So guys, once again, thank you to everyone, and we are hoping that you support us by liking our channel, subscribing into our channel and sharing it to all your friends around you. Thanks again.